Welcome to GrayPrimer, a weekly show that's mostly about miniatures. My name is Nick, I'm your host, and we are continuing Adepta August with the Retributor Squad. So it's taken me a little time to recover from the parade float of death and the associated awesomeness of riding a giant swan into battle. And the resolute fire support troops of the Retributor Squad are going to complete that recovery process for me. Heavy weapons, incenser cherubs, somebody reading a nice book on the battlefield. Knowing these girls, though, I'd say that reading from that book makes something on the battlefield go on fire. Wouldn't be like them. But let's get into it. Okay, so let's get into the Adepta Sororitas Retributor Squad. Lots of space on this cover. I guess they try to keep these as close to actual size as possible. Is that fair to say? Is that representative? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's why they leave themselves with such an amount of space on the boxes. Let's see what we got here. Regular Marine. Yeah, maybe they actually are just a scale. I don't know. Has that always been the case? Have I never noticed this? I'm going to keep an eye out for that in the future. Let's just check. I've got an emulator box here. Let's see if it is actually to scale. Okay. Emulator box. Lots of unused space on the packaging. Is it to scale? It really is pretty darn close to scale. How about that? That complete distraction out of the way, let's have a look what we've got here. 7 Citadel miniatures. We've got the 5 sister squad here of Retributors, and then we have these creepy servitor cherub hybrid things. And we get into the sort of close-ups, getting a feel for the weaponry there available. We've got power mauls and melters, and that's kind of a nice touch where we have the different liveries from the different orders represented on the back. I like that. So what do we have here? We got some heavy flamers, multi-meltas, heavy bolters, and a book. Knowing 40k, that book is probably the strongest weapon represented there. Let's just see. What do we got here? We got 32mm bases, and then I think a couple. Yeah, so a couple of 25mm as well for those creepy little cherubs. A decal sheet. Seen that before. Standard Adepta Sororitas one with the different orders, the vehicle markings, the Sister Superior markings, all these different saints as well, and then some of the scripture stuff. And here we have, hopefully, yep, so full color with the different ways of putting them together. We've got a Retributor Superior here, and then we got the different Retributors with how they can look with the weapon loadouts. That looks pretty savage there, actually. And how to do each of those. So that's kind of nice. Lots of variant faces and accessories, different purity seals and stuff. And that looks pretty good. And then sort of spec sheet for them as well. In several different languages. And on the back we have a color guide to different sprues. Let's have a nice close-up look at these. Helmeted heads, and then we have the unhelmeted ones with these groovy haircuts. Maybe ammo there. Yeah, some sort of ammo hanging out, probably one of the belt-fed weapons. Some of this parchment and stuff hanging down, I guess prayers or blessings or something. Some flail stuff too. For a bit of flagellation. And nice little accessories like holsters and stuff like that. That always adds that little extra bit to it. And there are a lot of heads in this kit, considering there are only 5 main miniatures. There's that power maul. Got power sword there, backpacks. Lots of spiky things to hit people with. Make them repent. And then we got the main sort of torso armor. The holy bath bomb, or whatever that is, I'm not sure. And yeah, weapons parts and the other torsos. So, looking really good so far. Lots of firepower. Let's get them built. And I am back with the Retributor Squad fully built up. And it was pretty cool, actually. Feels a little bit like one of the kill teams that I did, the Orc one. I think it was called Tooth Ripper's Crew. It kind of feels like them. Like there's a monopose style to it. Like all the heavy weapons are all pointing in the same direction. The poses are very similar. These 4 models here. You can see it's all held in the right hand, supported by the left hand, pointing off that way, this way, and that's it. But that belittles what we have here. That's at a distance. That's at a sort of, yeah, for sure. Maybe they could have had options here for, and you know, maybe a left-hander supporting with the right, or that it's not actually currently, the barrel's not currently raised, that it's kind of more sort of hanging at the side. Perhaps they had the rifle hanging at one side and maybe they were pointing a finger. Something like that. But anyway, just a tiny touch of variety. Something that was missing from Tooth Ripper's Crew, and something that is largely, unfortunately, missing here. Anyway, let's look at some of them in closer detail. We'll start with the little ammo carriers, these fantastic little cherubs who support the sisters on the battlefield by sort of flying in, dropping off some ammo, and legging it back to the rear echelons to pick up some more ammo to bring back, I guess. Constantly resupplying frontline troops. Details-wise, yeah, nice though. The wings are pretty cool. I'm not sure how to paint these, but then I'm not really sure how to paint anything. So they've done it a very clever way in the sculpt. They have this, I guess, like a little prayer banner or something hanging down, or this piece of parchment, and that's actually what's, you know, anchoring this to the base. It's a clever way to represent a flying miniature without having to resort to a flying base. And same deal here as well. You can see yet another one of these creepy cherub servitors. This one is a little bit of augmentation around the eye there. This one's a little bit more haunting than the last, even though the last one was like it had a skull for a head. Sorry, we've all got skulls for heads. It had a skull without skin for a head. This looks like a fuel cell or something, maybe for a flamer unit or a melta. But again, the wings are beautifully done. And again, that really clever use of the parchment to secure to the base. So let's check out the first of these Retributor, Adepta Sororitas. And we have a heavy flamer unit here. Sorry, multi-melta unit. And you can see the hosing here to bring fuel to it. I thought that the choice of heads that came in the box was actually pretty good. It allowed me to at least try to add a little bit of personality. Even if all of the bodies were going to be having this same posture, at least with the heads, I could get something in there that gave a little bit of personality. I put a bit of a tilt on the head. You can see it sort of tilted over this way to make it feel like she is looking around the battlefield. Her hair is getting slightly whipped by the wind. Gave it a little bit of personality and humanity there. The next one, I think I put a helmet on. Oh no, this is just the one with the short hair. I keep accusing these Adepta Sororitas of having helmet hair, which is not good. But you got this cracker heavy bolter, and it is like a beast of a weapon. Loving the iconography on it, the symbols of the ecclesiarchy there, the purity seal. You can see the belt-fed unit here going right back to the ammo pack. and she's screaming at something. Probably the weight of this thing, but it is got, let me just see if I can pick out that detail for you. Can you see the individual fleur-de-lis on each one of those links for the belt feed system? That is just too cool. That tiny little detail. But again, the head sort of brings this one its individuality. And I'm going to skip over that central figure there, which is, I think, is it a Sister Superior? Something like that. I can't remember what her rank is. But here we have another one of the Groovy Bob haircuts. And again, sort of screaming. Laying down some serious fire. Another one of the heavy bolters. So again, the same level of detail there. And enough, I think, with two units that are essentially the same. Weapons-wise anyway, and pose-wise. There's enough going on with their faces. These slightly different robes as well. Yeah, very slightly different robes. Enough to sort of set them apart there. And then finally we have the heavy flamer unit. And I had her more looking off this sort of direction here. And I thought that was a really nice weapon. Again, sort of this hosing back to the fuel tanks. And yeah, it looks like that's what that little cherub was bringing in, a replacement one of those tanks. What do the ones for the Melta look like? Okay. Yeah, this maybe is the fuel cell here. And what was this little dude bringing in? It looks like he was bringing in one of those. Cool. Okay. So we have support units for each of the fiery weapons. I like this head design, actually. Had a very different haircut, much higher sort of straight across fringe there. I think even the hair is sort of tucked behind her ear. Again, just brings that little touch of humanity. And then sort of the standout figure, which is, I guess, the unit commander. And this was just so cool. Got that cool combi plasma gun there. She's standing on, I thought it was books at first, but I think it's just random bits of rubble. And this incredible pose. There's quite a lot of variation in what you can do with this actual central figure, which is interesting because the others were so like, no, it's going to look this way. No matter what you try to do, it's going to look this way. But you can see here, like, there's the other option. Holding up this, I think it's a maul, and then reading from the book. And this is the same miniature. You just build it a completely different way. Which is, I think, is incredible. That it can be just so very different. There's that one. And there's this one. But I thoroughly enjoyed putting this one together. I love this chain sword. Purity seal hanging off here, there, and everywhere. This sort of corona at the back of the head. The holstered pistol. Grenades on the waist there. This is a cool figure. This is almost one of those figures you would expect to have, you know, retailing for like €25 on its own. Really loved that one. Absolute pick of the bunch. Overall, they're a fire support team, heavy weapons. They've got some nice personality in there with the little cherubs, with the squad commander here, whatever rank they are, I'm not sure. And even though the actual heavy support units here are more or less lacking in any kind of individuality or personality, you can do a little bit with the heads to set them apart from each other. I don't really mind, in all honesty, because of this character here. Because this one is so cool, and the little cherub dudes are pretty cool as well. It balances it out for me. If the kit had just been 5 of this type, I would not have been too happy with this one. I would have thought it was just a bit lazy, that they could have just put a bit more effort into the pose of these, or maybe the different options. Listen, as it stands, this one rescues it. These little guys are pretty cool. And the weapons and everything on these are beautiful. Just a little bit of variety would have helped. But that wraps it up for the Retributor Squad, for the Adepta Sororitas. I will be back tomorrow with the Flagellants. I don't know how to pronounce that word. I don't think they're going to look as sort of copy-paste as these. I think they look crazy from glancing at the box. I can't wait to get stuck into them. Please like, share, and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. I'll put links down below to all of the other ones in this series. And yeah, thanks for joining me today, and I will catch you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.